Hey, it's the Midnight Raven, and today we're continuing the case of a Florida disappearance. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am the Midnight Raven. This is True Crime with Raven, a new series on my channel. I hope you're enjoying this. So we are going to do a quick recap of Jennifer, who was murdered, and we're going to get into the details, the gory details, and all the ins and outs of this case. So, a recap. Jennifer, a young woman, never arrived at work. No one could make contact with her and no one could find her. Her car was driven by a mysterious person, unidentifiable, and was left outside a different block of flats to the one she lived in, where the police had found it parked, but there was still no signs of Jennifer, and so the case continues. So, Jennifer Kez became rattled by catcalls from construction workers who were doing long-term building work in the surrounding empty flats that were near hers. These catcalls, or wolf whistle if you want to call it, made her feel very vulnerable and uncomfortable. As she was a single woman living alone, she was unhappy with the way the maintenance men seemed to enter her property without permission, and it seemed to be more and more often. They would start a job and then they would disappear without finishing it, and then arrive unannounced to try and finish it without asking her permission to even enter her home. Some thought the maintenance men were acting suspicious. So, one witness said that a maintenance man named Chino would pop around to her house a lot and bump into her late in the evening when she was walking out her dog. He seemed very suspicious. Chino was one of the maintenance workers and had a key to every flat in the block. This made quite a few people uncomfortable. Chino was interviewed and even passed a polygraph test. The tenant who lived below Jennifer in 2009, 3 years after Jennifer had gone missing, said the tenant had noticed that somebody had been entering her flat when she wasn't home. How creepy is that? She said that she remembers coming home one day to see footprints on her carpet and a can of drink had been removed from her fridge. She then contacted the management for the building and complained at least 20 times over time, and no one came to talk to her and nothing changed. How creepy to have someone in your house when you're not there. I can't think of anything more worse than coming home to find footprints that you didn't make and to find someone had been rummaging in your fridge. So one night, a shadow outside this woman's apartment when she was going into her living room. She flung her front door open, and there in front of her was a man acting very strange, performing a sexual act on himself. She made out by reaching her hand behind her and out again that she had a gun, and the man fled. He jumped into a parked van in the car park. Within a matter of seconds, he had driven away. Oh my God, this case gets more and more creepy. So, she was convinced the man had come to her house and had planned to snatch her, hence having a parked van that was running to leave in such a quick time. This woman still suffers from anxiety and panic attacks and has done for the foreseeable time since that incident. Many of the maintenance workers had been questioned about Jennifer's abduction/disappearance. It was believed that some of the workers were illegal workers who literally left the country shortly after Jennifer's attack/disappearance. At this point, we don't know where Jennifer is, what's happened to her, is she hurt, who she's with. None of these questions have been answered. So Jennifer's ex still had a torch for her. He was drinking at a bar close to her the night before she died. He was a suspect in the case, but there was another suspect that was more interesting. This was a married man that she worked with who constantly pursued her and wanted to date her. Jealousy set in that she had a boyfriend and this guy at work didn't want her to date this guy. She wanted her to date him. So the boyfriend would take a polygraph test and each would pass, so no one was arrested. So again, we reach a dead end. So little is known of the figure on the CCTV image who had driven her car to a different car park, parked it and left. Could it have been Jennifer's abductor? We don't know. Could it have been an accomplice helping to cover up the crime by moving Jennifer's car? Are there more people involved in this than just the one? So, whether Jennifer had been snatched from her apartment still remains a mystery. With the flat being relatively untouched and the fact that she did have breakfast and a shower and looked like she was going to leave for work, it would seem that maybe Jennifer had been approached maybe in the car park after leaving the house and hadn't made it to her car, or she had made it to her car and the accomplice then jumped her when she was getting into her car, made her get in the car with him or her, and then left. So, Jennifer could have also been snatched and taken to one of the empty apartments by one of the maintenance workers. A lot of these workers, like I said, disappeared the minute Jennifer had gone missing. Many of the men left the country and just absconded, which, if anything, shows some sign of guilt, or it showed that somebody knew more than they were letting on. So, Jennifer may have been taken to one of the empty apartments, but evidence there was none. So Jennifer's was a very outgoing woman. As you saw, she loved to work, she loved to hang out. So one witness said that she had seen Jennifer's car driving very erratically and swerving all over the road the morning she went missing. Now, this seems very unlikely that it was Jennifer, as her parents will tell you. She was very meticulous in everything she did, and driving erratically just didn't seem like Jennifer. Her parents do not rule out that she may be alive, and they haven't ruled out that she may also be dead. She may have been kidnapped and sold into trafficking, which is also a possibility as they live very close to the border. This case still remains open, and with no body, no sightings of Jennifer, no evidence, and no new leads in this case, and with no evidence to go on, Jennifer case to this day still remains a missing person, and her parents are very hopeful to one day either find Jennifer's remains or to be reunited with her alive. So if you enjoyed this case, let me know down below your theory. Do you think she could have been abducted? Do you think she was killed? Do you think the maintenance workers had anything to do it? Do you think the ex-partner had something to do it, although he was cleared with a polygraph test? Let me know down below. This is a new series I'm doing. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if it's a little erratic today. I have done a full day of work before doing this, and honestly, the days don't get any easier. So if you want to see more from me, remember to give it a big thumbs up so I know you like this case. I have more cases to come, don't you worry. New cases coming each week for you. I wouldn't let you guys down. So this was True Crime with Raven. If you want to support the channel, remember a PayPal, a Super Chat, or become a member for extra videos every week. And I will see you very soon for another True Crime case. Take care and thanks for watching. Bye guys.